My name is James, and I swear on everything I hold dear, I never planned to be a politician. I did not even like politics. I was that kind of person who rolled his eyes whenever campaign jingles started disturbing the peace on radio. But somehow, during my National Youth Service year, in a small village that wasn't even on Google Maps, I became an accidental hero. In fact, let me not sugarcoat it. I, James Namdi, Batch C, Core Member 2015, ended up winning a local election in a village I was only supposed to serve for 1 year. Yes, you heard me right. I went for NYSC and came out as a politician. I know this is not Hollywood, but what you don't know is that victory came with a price. I still remember the day I arrived in Okechi village. The bus dropped me by a junction where goats were blocking the road like they owned it. A mad-looking Okada man shouted, "Compassion, enter, I go carry you." Me in my clean white NYSC khaki, holding my Ghana must go, just stared at him. That was the moment I knew village life was about to humble me. When I reached the compound they assigned me, old women gathered to look at me as if I was a new Nollywood movie. One of them said, "See as he fine, this one go marry our daughter." Another whispered, "No worry, he go fat when he start to chop pounded yam." I forced a smile. Deep down, I was wondering if my 19K Alawi could even feed me, not to talk of marrying somebody's daughter. My PPA, aka primary place of assignment, was the community secondary school. The principal, a stout man with tribal marks, welcomed me with a crooked grin. "Copper, we don't have mathematics teacher for 2 years now. You will handle it." I tried to explain that I studied political science, not mathematics. But before I could finish, he clapped me on the shoulder. "Don't worry, just be teaching them anything. The important thing is that they see you wearing khaki. Government will think we are fine." That was my first lesson in village life. Appearance sometimes mattered more than reality. As weeks passed, I noticed one thing. This village was crazy about politics. Every evening, men gathered under the biggest mango tree to argue about who should be the next village chairman. There were only two serious contenders, Chief Oba, the wealthy palm wine seller, and Mr. Wanko, the retired headmaster. Both of them bribed villagers with sachet tomatoes, Ankara wrappers, and even free haircuts. Me, I wasn't interested. I just wanted to finish service and go back to Owerri. But fate had other plans. One Saturday, the youth organized a football match. I was asked to be the referee. As I blew the whistle, I didn't know that match would change my life. The ball was rolling. Players were shouting. Spectators were betting money. Suddenly, a big fight broke out because one team claimed I was favoring the other. I tried to calm them. "Relax, it's just a game." But one drunk uncle shouted, "This copper is fair. You know they fear anybody. Now this kind leader we need." The crowd clapped. I laughed it off. But from that day, people started calling me Copper Chairman. I thought it was just a joke, but it wasn't. The villagers were very serious about this. Days later, youths started visiting me at night. "Copper, we want you to contest for village youth chairman." I almost choked on my gari. Me? I'm not from this village. I am only serving here. But they insisted. They said both other candidates were greedy and corrupt, and they needed someone neutral. I refused at first. But then, the unexpected happened. One evening, the village borehole broke down. Everybody was running helter-skelter for water. Children were carrying buckets to the stream. Women were shouting at the council chairman. I had some small money I was saving for dirty December. Instead, I called a plumber from town and repaired the borehole. By the next morning, people were hailing me like I was the savior of Okechi. Women danced in front of my lodge. Children followed me, chanting,
our chairman. That was the day I realized whether I liked it or not, I was already a candidate. Election period came and things got mad. Chief Oba shared free palm wine. Retired headmaster Wankwo gave free lessons to children. And me, I didn't even have money to bribe anybody. All I had was my alawi, which wasn't even enough for my own food. But surprisingly, people still followed me. Why? Because they said I was different. My campaign poster was just a piece of cardboard with marker writing, "Vote Copper James for integrity and truth." Some people laughed, others took me seriously. During one campaign rally, I was given the microphone. I didn't know what to say, so I started. "My fellow villagers, I cannot give you rice. I cannot give you wrapper, but I can give you honesty." People clapped. Then one small boy shouted from the crowd, "Honesty no dey sweet belle o." Everybody laughed, even me. But somehow, the laughter turned into cheers. They loved the fact that I wasn't pretending. The night before election, my lodge was surrounded. At first, I thought it was kidnappers, but it was actually the village youths guarding me. They said, "Chairman, your opponents might try to bribe INEC people. We must protect you." I couldn't sleep. My heart was pounding. I was only a copper, not a freedom fighter. But deep down, I knew something big was about to happen. Election day came. The whole village gathered at the square. Even goats and chickens seemed to be watching. People voted with small slips of paper, dropped inside a calabash. I stood aside, sweating like a Christmas goat. When the counting began, my opponents were smiling, confident of victory. But as the votes piled up, something strange happened. Every 2 or 3 votes had my name. When they finished counting, the result was clear. Chief Oba, 63 votes. Mr. Wankwo, 72 votes. Copper James, 151 votes. The crowd went mad. They lifted me up chanting, "Chairman, chairman, chairman." I was in shock. Me? An ordinary copper? But victory didn't taste sweet for long. That night, the elders called me. They said, "James, we respect the will of the people, but you are not from this village. According to our tradition, you cannot rule us." I thought it was over. But then something unexpected happened. The youth stormed the meeting hall, shouting, "If James no be chairman, nobody go be chairman." Tension filled the air. Elders versus youth. And in that heated moment, I realized this was bigger than me. After hours of arguments, they reached a compromise. I would serve as interim youth chairman while a local deputy worked under me. So technically, I became the first non-indigene copper to win and lead an election in Okechi village. When my NYSC year ended, leaving that village was the hardest thing I ever did. Old women cried. Children begged me to stay. The youths even offered to build me a small house if I remained their leader. But I had to go. I was just 24, with my whole life ahead. Still, sometimes at night, I think back and smile. I went to Okechi as a boy who wanted to serve. I left as a man who discovered that sometimes leadership finds you, even when you are running from it. And who knows, maybe one day you'll hear that Copper James is contesting for governor. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, hit the like button, drop a comment, share it with your people, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next one.